Hello everybody. Hello Jar 1 and Jar 2 and all the little jars. I just wanted to send out a greetings to you and tell you where I'm at. Uh, it's April 17 for crying out loud. And it's Thursday afternoon sometime in 2025. I'm out here on Ramsey Mine Road. This is what I call campsite number 3. Campsite number 1, my old homestead, and there's only one person out here now besides me, and he happens to be parked at the old homestead where I was there for 2 years. So I came out here just to check up on this nice little spot. The reason I like it here, it's got shade. I, in the past, cleared all this out underneath. This kind of situation, it gets pretty disgusting under these trees because they shed a lot. And anyway, it gives me shade out here in the desert. I can come out here and have a beer for lunch and think about calming down. I get worked up at times about things going around me that I don't understand, and then I realize, well, I just got to go somewhere and set and reset. I got to reset my train of thought and get it out of the rut that I get in often. Seems to me like a lot of people are in that same rut nowadays. So it's getting down to the wire now, only a few more weeks until I can do some more traveling. I'm going to hit the road soon. Now it's perfect. It's probably 70 degrees. Crystal blue skies, a little bit of a breeze. This would be perfect. But even so, I'm getting pretty tired of the desert terrain, the desert shrubs. I want to see some trees and some real soil with grass growing and maybe a little bit of rain once in a while, you know. Get back to that little bit of what I grew up with. You know, it's been a big change, a big challenge. But in the keeping of just sightseeing and seeing different things and traveling around the country in different places, and they all get a little tiresome. And that's just me, I suppose. I lived at the ocean on the beach. On the beach. I never did get tired of that, though. Let me tell you that right now. I was there a long while, and I did not get tired of living on the beach in those little villas with our own private beach access, and had a shared ownership in a catamaran and jet ski, and a friend had a 25-foot boat, and yeah, those were good times. I regret having to leave there, but I did. I had to leave. I couldn't. It's just the way my life developed. I could not sustain the finances to keep me in any one place long enough. I would make real good money for a while, and then it would get shaky. And that's kind of the definition of a contractor. Once I got into contracting, I accepted the fact that I would make good money for a while, but I could not afford to stay in an expensive place in between contracts. I had to live cheaply between the contracts. And that turned out pretty good. I did not mind traveling 2 jobs from one job to another. I did not mind. I did not like driving, though. I have never enjoyed driving these big rigs. I get vertigo. Now, I got different theories of how that occurs, but the fact of the matter is, if I'm setting up high in a vehicle and it swerves a little bit back and forth, when my head does this, it makes me very uneasy and I get vertigo. So I never enjoyed driving them big rigs. I had some white knuckle times. And this older van that I'm driving does that a little bit too. But that's a different story. I've been through that. So that's why I got this new van. Because I will be spending time in it driving a lot. And I want it to drive like a passenger car as close as I can. And it does. It does not feel when a semi-truck goes by, I don't feel it. When I go around a curve, it goes where I tell it to go. It reacts when I tell it to react. And that's key to me, driving. So that'll be coming up. And all this time now, it's just me preparing myself mentally and physically. You know, I'm it got out here. I was out here when it was 120 degrees. Several days, 110 plus, 115, many days in a row. And that type of thing is life-threatening. You cannot do anything in that kind of heat. You can step outside, walk around, look at your property, and go back inside. But you can't go outside and do anything like change a tire. Yeah, that's a fun story too. JAR2 laughed at me. He still laughs at me because of that. I told him that story. Yeah, I wish I had some ice. Doing well. Everything is on track. Everything is looking up from my part. Now, the rest of it, everybody has to work out their own perceptions of what's going on around the country. It is beyond me. I have given up trying to understand. I can't predict. All I can do is remember the plans I had before and figure, well, that's what I'm going to go back to. Otherwise, I'm lost. I don't know what to do about all the stuff that's going on now. There's nothing really I can do. I would be paralyzed. So I've gone back to my travel ways. When I first got here, I was so tired of traveling. I lost the wanderlust. When I got here, I sat my butt down and said, that's it. I'm tired of driving. I'm going to see if I can live here for a while. And I did. And it was okay. The main thing, it's very cheap. And that got me a new, kind of a fresh outlook, a new start. And now that I have that, I'm going to go back to doing what I wanted to do and see the rest of the country. And now I cannot swear that it's true. I think it's true. I've done my best to remember things growing up and our father telling us about the trip he took out west. And it was in an old, I guess, Model A, because I think he was 17 years old when he did it. And that would make it in 1927. So he was born in 1910. He lived through 2 world wars. And when he was 17, he and some friends came out west. And that means he had to have taken Route 66. So that's the route I've taken. I came out Route 66. I got off of it, came down a little bit south here. But when I leave here, I'm going to go back up to it, hit Route 66, and go west in the same path that my father did. I figured this, how many years ago was that? In 1927 and 98 years ago. And to me, that means something. That's special. So anyway, that's my plan. To go to see the redwoods, travel some more of that road that my dad took, and then go north on I-5 up through California. And it should be good. I should be safe. I should be able to make it. I should be financially set to where I don't have to worry too much about being on the road. Got a relatively new vehicle, although it's starting to have its problems. They're not serious problems, but there are problems that are just blowing me away. I thought this van was excessive. That new van has electric lock actuators on all of the doors. 2 of them are broken. And I've watched on YouTube videos of how to repair those. That's a nightmare. They're sandwiched way in between the metal sheets, and it's you got to be a professional to even attempt to get to those lock actuators, and you can't bypass them. They have it where the manual things go down to that electric actuator and then to the physical lock. So you cannot bypass that electric actuator. You can't just unplug it and then use the mechanical stuff. No, it is locked, frozen in whatever position that it breaks in. Luckily, they've broken in the feature in the state that I can use it as it is. They're and I look at that and go, what idiot engineer designed this to be that way? I just can't fathom it. So that it breaks in an unusable mode. That's engineering 101. If it breaks, let it break open. Let it break usable. Good God. Anyway, everything else. And of course the computer, you can't ever shut it off in the van. It is always checking things and running motors and closing and opening vents. And in the middle of the night, I'm laying there and suddenly vents will start clicking and closing and motors running in the middle of the freaking night. And the dashboard is saying, gate. The gate is open. Well, yeah, I left it open. I want it to be open. And that means, well, now it's using power to monitor that gate. Even so, it might be only 1 microvolt, 1 microwatt. I don't want it to use any. I want it to be off. But that's not how things work nowadays. So those things are not going to get fixed. I'm just going to drive the thing, and I don't know. There's nothing else I can do about it. I'm not going to be able to take that into a dealership and pay $500 to fix a door lock. And there's two of them that are broken. God. So I don't know. I hate to sound like an old guy, because I have heard old guys sit around talking exactly like I do about how things have gone to hell. That they don't know how to do it anymore. They don't make them like they used to. Yeah. So, bros, are you feeling the same? Is it just me? Am I feeling that my day is done? It's out of my hands. Whatever happens in the world now, sorry kids, but you're going to have to deal with it. I can't. Yes, sir, and this is only my first half beer so far. So, it's not the beer talking. It's just me blowing off steam. Boy, that van looks pretty good. That old van, I put some really good tires on there. That's one thing I am going to do with that new van. I'm going to get some good tires. And all-terrain if I can. Because those things that I have on there now, they're not showing any kind of wear. And I drive this thing over sharp rocks. And as I once told about a story about, I had a flat tire because I drove over a pointed rock. And it broke the tread. It pushed up and just physically broke a crack in the tread. So, because they were just regular tires. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. But the thing is, I'm saving up for that. I know it's going to happen. Hey, Jar 2 and C and H. Remember this hay bale we were shooting darts into? I've finally decided I've got to get it out of the van, start cleaning this van out so that it doesn't sit there for months at a time while I'm not here. So I'm going to take it apart and try to recover those darts that disappeared into it. Well, that's taken care of. I hope this, hang on a second. I hope the camera's still working. Ah! I hope I didn't screw this camera up too bad. It was blown over twice. The wind picked up, a gust took it twice. The second time was right on its lens. Might have a little bit of a ding in the lens. Oh well, live and learn. And that's my advice to all the little JARs out there. Live and learn. Never close your mind. And another thing, don't believe what anybody tells you. And only believe half of what you see. You've got to verify it. Find sources of information that you can trust and verify it. You don't have to verify it right now. File it away with a grain of salt when somebody tells you something. or you see something, chances are it is all from someone else's imagination. So just check things out. Leave yourself an open. And don't commit. You don't have to. That's why we have been given this time on earth to figure it out. So, enough pontificating. What a beautiful day. Hey, JAR1. I sure hope things are going well for you. I know you said you were going to be busy for a while. I get that. I know that. Hope it's going well. Hope you're feeling well. You should have a lot to look forward to. All right, wind. Don't kick up. I tied a weight onto the bottom of my tripod. I hung a weight. Hopefully that'll keep it from catching the wind. Whoosh, like it did, man. Alrighty then. Yes, sir. Looks like a great big gold nugget sitting right there. Oh my God! Oh! Oh! Not even close. It's a heavy rock. Oh, it's got some malachite or azurite. Malachite, I believe, is the green. Lots of crystals of quartz. Quite heavy, quite dense. Some iron oxide stuck to it. It's amorphous crystalline, not layered. Lots of shining little crystals. I think I'll keep this for a while. Maybe I'll break it. Break it open. You see, this is this whole area here. I believe, you know, it is called Ramsey Mine Road for a reason. At the end of it is a mine, Ramsey Mine. And a lot of this area, I think they brought their trailings and bulldozed it down. Before I-10, this was just a road going up into the hills, and they bulldozed stuff down into the flats. Then when I-10 went through, they put over the bridge, the overpass, but they had already put a lot of tailings out here. Ramsey Mine itself is not known for its gold. It had other minerals that they were mining. They did get a little bit of gold and copper and stuff like that, but mainly these other weird sounding, and it's just so dense, that's so heavy. Very fine-grained crystalline structure. With some big quartz in it. I don't know, man. Cool stuff. Take that with me. Anyhow. And it's broken, kind of jagged. It's not rounded. So it's not rocks that have been here for a while. It was brought in at some point and dumped here as tailings, I believe. Although this is a long way to bring your tailings. Could happen. It could happen. Yeah, I wish I had some ice. Yeah, I enjoy being at this place. This is a nice place. I'm sitting in the shade with a breeze. This is the best you can do out here in the desert. A bit of a shrub, a tree to give you a little bit of shade. A nice breeze blows through. No critters underneath me. No neighbors. And a camera that may or may not be working. Yep. That sucker right square on his face the second time around. Just boom, right on the lens. First time was on his side. Second time was right on his face. And the wind won't let up. It keeps on keeping on. Yeah, it always, whenever the wind gets like this, I think to myself, I wish I had some property. When I was out here for the 2 years with my Airstream, I had solar panels and a wind turbine. Now, granted, that wind turbine did not put out a lot of power, but it put out power all the time. You know, okay, fly, don't get aggressive on me. And it wasn't hurting nobody. It was noisy, and I have been thinking about the noise. I bet I could make some money, but I gotta say, my experimenting days are over. It's been a long time since I could accommodate that type of thing in the Airstream. When I moved into the Airstream, I had no space for anything. It's been a disaster trying to do more in that Airstream than what it was designed to do. So, all the little things, all the electronics hobbies, and building of robots, and wind turbine development, that's over. I cannot do that anymore. I've got one hobby now, and that's YouTube videos, I think. That's just the way life is. You can't be a gold miner at the age of 72. You know, you can, maybe I'll get lucky and trip over a gold nugget, but I'm not going to go out prospecting or developing mechanical wind turbines or running an electronics lab. Nah, it's not going to happen. That's over. I never did get too far with that stuff either. I gave it my best shot several times, and it just didn't work out. And I'll leave it at that. I tried.